If you have a 2002 through 2009 Mercedes E320 and it stops running for no reason, this may be the cause. The fuel pump can go out on it and it just completely stops running. And there's one other reason that I see, but this is the W211. So between 2002 and 2009. Now, one thing it could be is the sensor for the crankcase position crank position sensor. That's in the front on the engine. Sometimes that goes. So that's a spare one. But the fuel pump, if it goes, your engine will just stop running. You could be driving and it just shuts off. Same with that crank position sensor. But also, if you stop and then you go to start your car again, it may not be running. Both of these things will cause this. But this is how you diagnose the fuel pump. It's under the seat right here on the back passenger side. So you come back here. This seat is held down by some clips, one on each side. You just have to grab it and just yank it up. This one's already undone, but you got to get your fingers under it and it'll pop up like that. And then you can see the clips right there. One over on the other side, they clip into those holes under there. So you're going to move this seat out of the way, and then underneath that is this sound barrier. Pull that back. You're going to see this cover. I already took the screws off, so pull the screws off, it'll just come off. Underneath that is this ring. This is the top of the fuel pump. Now over on the other side, that's actually the fuel sender. It helps to send all the fuel that's over in the tank on that side of the car over to this side of the car, so fuel doesn't stay over there and this side runs out. I think there's a hump, a little bit of a hump in the center. So we're going to diagnose if it's the fuel pump that's actually gone bad. What we're going to do is go up, turn the key 2 positions on. Don't start the car though, just turn the key 2 positions and you'll actually hear this buzz. So I'm going to do that right now and test if this fuel pump actually works or not before we replace it. All right, we're in the front of the car. I got the key in the off position. Right back here we got the fuel pump cover off. I make sure the front doors are closed, the radio is off, the air conditioning is off, and I'm going to turn this key. I'm going to just turn it, go ahead and turn it first. 1, 2, and then you're going to listen for something. So I'm going to turn that off. Come back here. We're going to listen for this fuel pump to start buzzing. So see if we can hear that. There you go. It buzzed for just 1 or 2 seconds and then shuts off once it gets to pressure. That means that the fuel pump is good. So chances are that's not your problem. Next thing I would do is look at that crank position sensor like I showed you. This is up on the front of the engine and it's pretty easy to replace. You can just look that up. All right, so unfortunately though, this pump that's in here, it works once in a while, but it keeps on turning on and off and it won't work. And I could be somewhere out in the middle of a parking lot somewhere and this won't run. So I'm going to replace this fuel pump. I'm going to show you how to do it really quick here. All right, before you do anything changing the fuel pump, you want to come back here in the trunk, and underneath here on the passenger side is your battery. You're going to loosen up this negative side here. Take this off, and then what I do is I put a rag there because you don't want, you don't want that sparking and touching while you're working on things. Plus it can cause a short, and some of these electrical things don't like it when that happens. All right, now that's all disconnected. Come on up here. Now I already loosened this ring. Now we're going to go ahead and take it off. So if you need to use a hammer and a little metal piece or big blunt screwdriver or something, spin it until it comes off. I already have it off. I'll show you how to put it back on and tighten it without the special wrench thing that costs probably 30 or 40 bucks. Now you're going to take this out. It's got a seal that goes around the top here. I would highly recommend having some gloves so you don't get any fuel all over your hand. Now that's actually part of the pump that's going to come out, and then the pump itself is right here, and it actually just barely fits through this hole. So you see there's actually a low voltage connector right there, and these hoses, this actually has a little connector there, and these hoses are just held in right there. That comes from the other side and feeds the fuel excuse me, from the other side right over into this pump if it's pooling over there. So we're going to undo this electrical connection, and the hose is right there. What I like to do is take some string, tie it around the wire down there and these two pipes and this pipe here as well, or hose, and then you got to disconnect this hose. Now to do this, there's a piece on the front here down at the bottom right there that presses in. If you can do it with your fingers and pull it off, that works. It's tough to get off the longer it's been there, or you use a screwdriver, push that in and then pull it off. What I also find works really good is a pair of pliers, with the nose bent like that you can buy, and so you press that against that connector, push, and then pull up. And so I couldn't do it and hold the camera at the same time, so I loosened it up, and you got to pull. It's going to be tough. It almost seems like it's not going to come off depending on how tight it is. Now once that's off, you don't connect this wire, that's part of the pump, but you connect the one that's over here. Disconnect it by just pulling the little tab to the side and lifting up, and then these two hoses over here are just held in with the little pressure clamps of the pump. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that and pull it out. Now once you have those connectors undone, which is the hardest part of the whole job, really getting this ring off that holds it down and then getting these connectors off. I have the string on there because you're going to tuck those off to the side like that, and then this, try not to get all that fuel out with it. It'd be easier if you had a empty fuel tank, but you don't really have the choice sometimes, because now there's going to be fuel in there, so try not to dump it. Let's get that. There you go. I got the, and then so there's fuel in here, so just don't smoke while you're doing this. And I have the string on there because you're going to hold on to that. Now we're going to get the new fuel pump and we're going to slide it down into the hole here. Once you have the pump inside, get a little light on there, got the electrical connector right on there, the two other tubes feeding in, and doesn't really matter which side they go in. There's one a little bigger than the other, but they just pump the fuel from the other side into this fuel pump, and then got the main filler one connected. Now you have to take the top piece, and it's got these two legs on it. Those two legs will fit into the two holes they were in, down in there, one on each side, and it has to be oriented on an angle like this because the seat is on an angle. So you just have to see if I can get it in there just like that. The wire is a little bit in the way, so once you slide that in, then you just have the fuel pump spring to deal with, and you'll press it down, try to keep it straight so it doesn't spin around, and you'll get it down. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this. Once you hold this down, then put the ring on and start to thread that, and I'll show you how to tighten that up. All right, so once you have the top seated down, make sure the rubber seal that's around this yellowish orange piece doesn't fold as you slide it down into the compartment. If you need to use a little bit of silicone spray lube or a little fuel just on the ring so it slides in better, that's fine. Don't use heavy grease though. And then this ring around here, it cross threads really easy. You want to make sure it goes on nice and level so one side's not all cross threaded higher than the other. Push the orange cap down so it's seated all the way, and as you hand tighten this, keep pushing this down, make sure it doesn't slide back up so it's not sealed all the way. Now hand tighten it with both hands as best you can, and now we're going to tighten it a little bit more. Now with that hand tightened, just both hands, and it should be even all the way around without any big gaps from being cross threaded. Now this is what I like to use. It's blunt. I don't use a screwdriver because it'll cut these nubs off. So then you're going to just get it right on the edge of these little nubs. Little tap, you can see how it moves, and go all the way around you as much as you can. And this is how you get it off as well. When you go the other way here, you just tap all the way around. Don't just hammer on one spot. You got to just do a bunch of different spots, and you just slowly tap. So that's tight. It's sealed really well because it was on. Now I'm gonna give you a little warning. You're playing with gas here, open fuel, very dangerous. So don't do this if you don't feel comfortable. This is only an instructional video how it's done. I'm not telling you the exact way how it's supposed to be done, but if you want to do it, this just gives you insight to that. Be very careful and do this at your own risk. So once you're done, we're going to test, do the with the key, we're going to turn it on two turns and see if this actually buzzes. So here's time to tell if this works or not. Got everything together. I got the battery hooked back up, and we're going to turn the key 2 positions. Listen. There we go. I don't know if you heard that. I'm going to give it a crank. There you go. Car starts right up. All right. Now, remember, the fuel pump only hums for 1 to 2 seconds. With this fuel pump that was in here before, it worked, but it would periodically work. So sometimes I would check it and there'd be nothing, and then 2 days later the fuel pump's working. So it was something that was loose, or it's a connection. So start with that. Hopefully it's not a relay, fuel relay or something like that, but this was not working. Now, if that's working and your car still doesn't start, then the next thing I would check is this crank position sensor, and I'll show you where that is. That's all it looks like right there. They're like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. But open the hood, and these are really easy fix too. You'll get the same symptoms. It will be no start, just cranking over and over again, and it is right here. And that crank position sensor, you undo this little thing, little bolt right there, and that just pulls out, and this one goes back in, has a little seal on it, and there's wires that connect to it right there. You got to be careful you don't break those, and that's all there is to it. And I've had to replace this on this car. This one's a spare one that's in the glove compartment because I was out on the highway and the crank position sensor went bad and the car just shut off and wouldn't start. All right, hopefully that helped you. Good luck. Oh, and subscribe. Thanks. Just in case someone wanted me to finish the video, put it back together the way it came apart. Put this lid back on so it fits the contour. Put all the little screws back in. That back together. And then take the seat, and the seat's gonna slide in to here with the grooves, and then you're just gonna have to smack it down so those clips clip back on. All right, there's the seat back in. Hit that one down, and then the clip on this side. Hit that one down, and it'll clip in. Make sure the hole's connected. And there we go. Another job done. And this was about a $65 fix. If you went to Mercedes to get this fix, you're probably looking at $500 or more.